making jokes, I'm looking for the. Wrote a song about that, you should play it. I get scared when I walk on these stages. I look at the crowd and see so many faces. Yeah, that's when I start to get anxious. That's when my thoughts can be dangerous. That's when I put on my makeup and drown in self-hatred. Forget what I'm saying and where the beat go? Oh, ain't that something? Drums came in, you ain't see that coming. Hands on my head, can't tell me nothing. Got a taste of the fame, it upon my stomach. Throw it back up like I don't want it. Wipe my face, clean up my vomit. OCD trying to push my buttons. I said don't touch it, now y'all done it. I can be critical, never typical. Intricate with every syllable, I'm a criminal. Intimate but never political, pretty visual. Even if you hate it, I'll make you feel like you're in it though. You call me what you want, but never call me forgettable. Leave you deep in thought, I can never swim in the kiddie pool. Waited, I've been thinking the cinematic is beautiful. Man, I don't know if I'm making movies or music videos. Yeah, the sales can rise, doesn't mean much though when your health declines. See, we've all got something that we trapped inside that we try to suffocate, you know, hoping it dies. Try to hold it underwater, but it always survives. And it comes up out of nowhere like an evil surprise. Then it hovers over you to tell you millions of lies. You don't relate to that? Must not be as crazy as I am. The point I'm making is the mind is a powerful place, and what you feed it can affect you in a powerful way. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, but it's not always safe. Just hang with me, this'll only take a moment, okay? Just think about it for a second. If you look at your face every day when you get up and think you'll never be great, you'll never be great. Not because you're not, but the hate will always find a way to cut you up and murder your faith. I can develop and take a look at the benefits. Nothing to meddle with, I can never be delicate. My even relevant, that depends how you measure it. Take a measurement to back it up and give me the evidence. Pretty evident, dependable, can never be tentative. I'm a gentleman, depending on if I think you're genuine. Pretty elegant, but not afraid to tell you to get it. Grip proper etiquette, I keep it to myself when I celebrate, huh? It's that time again. Better grab your balloons and invite your friends. Seat belts back on, yeah, strap them in. Look at me, everybody, I'm smiling big. On a road right now that I can't predict. Tell me tone that down, but I can't resist. Y'all know that sound, better raise your fist. The search begins, I'm back, so enjoy the trip, huh? Yeah. What's your definition of success? I don't trust the thoughts that come inside my head. I don't trust this thing that beats inside my chest. Who I am and who I wanna be cannot connect. Why? Don't think I deserve it, you get no respect. I just made a couple mils, still not impressed. Let you down goes triple platinum, yeah, okay, I guess. Smile for a moment, then these questions starting to fill my head, not again. I push away the people that I love the most. Why? I don't want no one to know I'm vulnerable. Why? That makes me feel weak and so uncomfortable. Why? Stop asking me questions, I just wanna feel alive until I die. This isn't ace flow, just let me rhyme, I'm in disguise. I'm a busy person, got no time for lies. One of a kind, they don't see it, I pull out their eyes. I'm on a rise, I've been doing this for most my life with no advice. Take my chances, I just roll the dice. Do what I like, as a kid I was afraid of highs. Put that aside, now I'm here and they look so surprised. Well, so am I, whoa. They don't invite me to the parties, but I still arrive. Kick down the door and then I go inside. Give off that I do not belong here vibe. Then take the keys right off the counter and let's go for a ride. Why do y'all look mortified? I keep to myself, they think I'm sorta shy. Organized, Let You Down's the only song you've heard of, well then you're behind. Story time, wish that I could think like Big Sean does, but I just can't decide if I should stick my knife inside a Pennywise. I don't care what anybody else thinks, lies. I do not need nobody to help me, lies. I kinda feel guilty cause I'm wealthy, why? I don't understand, it's got me questioning like why? Just tell me why, not back to this flow inside. I feel divided, back when I ain't had a dime, but had to drive. Back before I ever signed, I question live, like who am I, man? Woo! Nothing to me's ever good enough. I could be working for 24 hours a day and think I never did enough. My life is a movie, but there ain't no telling what you gonna see in my cinema. I wanna be great, but I get in the way of myself and I think about everything that I could never be. Why do I do it though? Hey, yeah, why you always looking aggravated? Not a choice, you know I had to make it. When they talk about the greatest, they gon' probably never put us in a conversation. Like something that I gotta take it, write something that I might erase it. I love it, then I really hate it. What's the problem, Nathan? I don't know. I know I like to preach to always be yourself, but my emotions make me feel like I am someone else. Me and pride have made a pact that we don't need no help, which feels like I'm at war inside myself, but I forgot the shells. I hold my issues up for all to see like show and tell. A lot of people know me, but not a lot know me well. Hold my issues.
Let Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Hack Smarter Live. My name is Tyler Ramsby. I am your host, and I want to let you know that I'm live right now on 3 different platforms. You can join on whatever platform works best for you, but we are live right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. On YouTube and LinkedIn, I just stream under my name, Tyler Ramsby, and over on Twitch, I stream under the handle hack_smarter. You can see it on the hat. So YouTube and LinkedIn is Tyler Ramsby. Twitch, it is hack_smarter. I have chat from all 3 platforms up on the screen, so you should be able to communicate with each other. But thank you for taking the time out of your evening, or maybe you're watching this after the fact. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me for the next hour or 2 as we do some AMA. AMA means Ask Me Anything. So if you have any questions about pen testing or cybersecurity or careers or life in general, feel free to ask in chat. We will spend some time just hanging out before we dive into the hacking. And I should have introduced myself. My name is Tyler. I am the founder of 2 companies. The first one is Hack Smarter, where you can get hands-on courses and labs that you can actually afford in the field of ethical hacking. You can see a link on the screen, hacksmarter.org. And the second company is a pen testing firm called Kairos. You can also see the link on the screen for that. We do all kinds of pen testing, from web apps to network to cloud to social engineering. You name it, we probably do it. And if you are looking for a pen test in Q4 or in 2026, I would love to talk to you. So check out the website. You can fill out a quote there, and I will not fill out a quote. You can request a quote, and I will personally follow up with you within 24 hours. But there we go. Guys, thank you. Thank you for being here. Let me get chat pulled up. Say hello to everyone. Is this AI? This is AI. You see, I've been so busy during the day, and I missed you guys streaming at night, and so I have made a deep fake version of myself. So I'm really just an advanced AI model. Tyler is playing Battlefield right now, but I decided to come on here as his advanced AI model and welcome all of you to the live stream. But let me scroll up in chat. We got Rick Kelly checking in. Good to have you here. Cody Crooks, what is up? Hoi Manoy, Mando, Sank Logic, Agent 57, Nefos, what is up? Death Wish Show. KLR, the greatest troll of all time, is here as well. Good to have you here too. 444C. Scrolling, we got Zohei Masood checking in. Modman said, first time here. Can't wait to see how this unfolds. I hope you are not disappointed, but thank you for being here. And that's actually a good reminder. If any of you are here for the very first time, even if you watch my other videos, if this is your first time to a live stream, let me know. We'll love to hear from you and give you a proper welcome. But Modman, welcome to the party, my friend. Great to have you here. Modman joined the Discord today even. I love it. Joyer2000, if I'm saying that correct. Hello. We have Amish Runaway, which Amish Runaway recently joined the Discord too. Good to have you here. Clarity said, just finished your fishing course, about to start the Sliver one and tear through it as some more C2 practice before I take CRTO. I love it. Let me know what you think, Clarity. Let me know if you run into any issues or questions. I try to respond super quickly and make sure things are running well. But have fun. Happy hacking. What up, Will Lopez? You got this intro down. It depends on the night. Some nights I can speak well. Other nights I stumble over my words. We'll see how this night ends up being. What is up, Oscar, over on LinkedIn? KLR said, it's a great script. I memorized it myself. I love it. What up, Cyber? Noipi, Jesse F. Moore. Good to see you, my friend. What up, Mike NY? Yeah, great job, Jesse, troubleshooting that and figuring out. That's awesome. Computer Guy Dre, Harrison Wells, KLR claiming he's a first-timer. We got Llama checking in. Amish says, Discord seems to be some solid humans. I hope so. We are the best InfoSec community around. If you are not a member of the HackSmarter Discord, you are missing out. Go to hacksmarter.org, click Discord in the top right corner, and join our Discord community. This is a hill I'll die on. I really do think Hack Smarter is the best InfoSec community around that you can join today. It is just the right size, I think, right now. We just surpassed about 13,000 members, which seems like a lot, but it still feels like a small community. But I remember the days when Hack Smarter was literally a Facebook chat with me and my friend Nate jumping on video calls. It's crazy to see where it's at today, but very friendly, no gatekeeping. Anyone who tries to do that kind of elitist stuff gets banned immediately. easily. So you will fit in, unless you're one of those gatekeeping elitist basement dwellers. Then you won't fit in. There's plenty of InfoSec Discords that would love to have you part of them. But for our community, like, you have to be friendly. You have to actually be nice to people, and then you will fit into Hack Smarter. All right, let me scroll up. How's wifey and kiddos? Good. My wife's actually going with me to South Carolina in 2 weeks for Simply CyberCon. Anyone in chat going to be at Simply CyberCon? If so, let me know. But yeah, we are both heading there. I don't think she's going to the conference. I was trying to convince her to go. We'll see if she shows up, but I am keynoting Simply CyberCon, so I'm kicking that entire conference off in person, and I'll be there the entire time, as well as like the after party and stuff afterwards. So if you're going to be in South Carolina in the beginning of November, I would love to meet up with you in person, get drinks, all of that good stuff. And then my kids are good. We just got done playing Hogwarts Legacy about 30 minutes before I jumped on here. It's a game that they enjoy. They don't play because it's on computer, and they're still learning how to use computers. I actually bought them. I'll show you guys. Oh no, the charger just fell off my desk. So with kids my age, my daughter, she's just about to turn 9, like in November, and then my son just turned 6. In school, they just teach them how to use tablets, like iPads. And so I've been trying to teach my kids how to use real computers. So, I mean, it's not amazing. But I bought them both like cheap Chromebooks so they can begin learning how to use like a real computer, not just a tablet. But they're not at the level where they can do like PC gaming yet, but they enjoy Harry Potter. And so they've been begging me for a while if we could play Hogwarts Legacy again. So we spent a chunk of the evening, like 30 minutes or so, playing Hogwarts Legacy. But I was in the Deathly Hallows mission, which if you've ever played Hogwarts Legacy, it's like legit kind of scary. And so we'll see how their dreams go tonight, being chased around by skeletons. But that was fun. What is up, Mike Smith? What up, Fixit42? Good to see you. Amer said, hi, I have CEH and I oh wait, I see a super chat. Let me scroll through. Dude, guys, wow, Sank, Harrison, you're both amazing. Thank you so much for the super chats and for your generosity. Seriously, you guys make my night. Thank you for the kind words and that. And I will get to your guys' questions. Let me scroll back up and answer these other ones, but I'll jump down to those. Amer said, hi, I have CEH and I study CPTS from Hack the Box. Let's say I can't afford high payment certifications. What would you like to recommend for me to complete in the pen testing path? Instead of certifications, you can pursue CVEs. If you spend some time looking at open source software on GitHub and elsewhere, it's actually not that hard to find vulnerabilities and get your first CVE. And I would recommend that as an alternative path to expensive certifications. What is up, Sozo? Hey, Sank is just about to go to bed, but wanted to say hi. Well, Sank, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the super chat. You are amazing. Hey, could you stop hacking US East 1? I have stuff there. Dude, I have stuff there too. All of my machines from the Hack Smarter platform are in US East 1. So AWS owes me money because I spent like part of my day yesterday doing tech support for AWS, telling people, yes, I know the machines are stuck. I know they're not launching. There's nothing I can do about it besides like tell AWS to hurry up. Guess business is good. You look happy. It's just because I haven't streamed a bunch. Streaming's exhausting, guys. Business is going okay. It's hard to really know how things are going because we're only like 3 weeks in. We're not even a full month, and I haven't even paid myself yet. Like I haven't even gotten to my first official paycheck from the business. So I think it's going well. I'm on an internal pen test right now, which is good, which means I'm being paid each day as I'm working. I'm not just working for free right now since I'm on that engagement. So that's awesome. And so, yeah, so far things are going okay. They're going better than I expected them to do, to be honest. I would say my biggest issue, and I actually plan on making a shorter video on this. Actually, I'll come back to that. Let me knock out questions, then I'll tell you guys how like Hack Smarter and KairosSec are going and some lessons learned so far. I'm back to basics and learning ServiceNow. Oh, I love it. I used to work with ServiceNow at a former job. All right, Harrison Wells with the super chat. Hey, Tyler, have you ever come up against an ITDR tool on an internal pen test? What do you think of the tech? Is there one you recommend that consistently detects you? I don't even know fully what that acronym stands for. Oh, Identity Threat Detection Response. Gotcha. So here's what's going to be different about me and why I probably can't give a good answer to your question. Everything I do right now, because it's Kairos and I'm just one person, is pen testing. Pen testing and red teaming are different. In a red team engagement, that's when you have multiple people on the engagement and it's much longer. You might have 3 months, 6 months, or a year. The goal isn't to find vulnerabilities, but rather goal execution or to steal certain information from the environment. When you're doing a red team engagement, the focus is on stealth and evading things like identity threat detection and response and EDRs. Like you have to focus on evasion. During a pen test engagement, it's much more time limited. So for example, I'm on an 8-day engagement right now. So it's an 8-day internal Active Directory engagement, but I have 8 days to really enumerate their entire AD environment with hundreds of users, hundreds of servers, hundreds of workstations, sometimes thousands depending on the engagement. And time does not permit me to focus on evasion and stealth. I'm just trying to find as many vulnerabilities as I possibly can to give the client the most value for the money that they are paying. Since most of what I do is pen testing engagements rather than red team engagements, especially right now, I just don't have a good answer to you. So Harrison, that was a really long answer to say, I'm not sure. Sorry. I like taking defense perspective on defensive tools. I haven't found many people talking about it. My org wants me to go get one. Yeah, I would ask in Discord. Would be a good spot to ask. Either in this Discord or if you're a member of the VulnLab Discord, go ask in VulnLab. You might get some really good responses there. The Flame said, just got an all-access yearly sub. Dude. Seriously. Thank you so much for your support. You're amazing. I would have liked to get the bigger one to learn your journey and get more business-like info, but out of my budget. Totally fine, dude. Thank you so much for your generosity and for your support. I really do appreciate it. Which, by the way, well, I'll show you guys all that in a moment. I don't want to make this one big advertisement. Student discords are coming. They are not. Student discounts are not coming. Mow someone's lawn. Make some money. I'm trying to get the confidence to work on CVE hunting. Bug bounty and CVE stuff is so daunting. Bug bounty is way more daunting than CVE. CVE isn't terribly difficult. If you just poke at things and focus on basic vulnerabilities, you'd be able to do it. Hey, what up, Crazy Horse? What up, Muhammad? Did an internal with 13,000 plus hosts. It was a lot for sure, exactly. It's nothing like you're doing, a pro lab from Hack the Box and you see there's 10 hosts and it feels like that's a lot. In the real world, you could have thousands of hosts that you are enumerating against and trying to find vulnerabilities, try to find the highest impact vulnerabilities. Okay, well, a few things, guys. Real quick, one, I'll give you a quick update on how HackSmarter and Kairos are going. Oh, when you say CVE, just find a no CVE and reconstruct it? No, find your own CVE. Like, discover a 0-day vulnerability in software. I have a video on this here. 1 second. I won't go into all the detail here because I do have a video. Now, my screen's going to be black. I know it's black. It's because of Pipewire. Let me fix this real quick. Okay. So if you go out to the YouTubes and type Tyler Ramsby CVE, you can find a few different videos. I've actually done some workshops on this. So literally just Google me. You can see my video, how I found 8 CVEs in 2 weeks, finding CVEs with me over on Jerry's channel, how I found Apache CVE. Like, these are all 0 days that I found. Here's an entire blog where I found 8 CVEs in that 2-week period. But if you just Google me plus CVE, you can find a lot of resources on how to do CVE hunting. So that's what I would recommend. What up, Graphitaf? Good to have you here, my friend. All right, so anyways, HackSmarter and Kairos. How are you going to be on with Jerry on Thursday? Oh, freaking no. Has he still not updated that? His team sent me the wrong day. So I thought it was this Thursday as well, but it's actually next Thursday. Let's see if he has fixed that. Oh no, so he did fix it. No, It was never supposed to be me this Thursday. They accidentally swapped things around. So this Thursday is Mike Saunders. And then next Thursday, which I think is the 30th. Yeah, the 30th, I will be on the fireside chat with my friend Jerry. So stay tuned for that. I wouldn't get CEH, Modman, unless you live in India. I think in India, the CEH is still well respected and on a lot of resumes. But in the US, I wouldn't get the CEH. It doesn't have a great reputation. Yeah, Cybernope, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at all the time. I feel like a noob on every engagement I do. Like I'm still, no matter how many times I've done it, it's still, trying to figure these things out. No, I guess not KLR. Anyways, all right, real quick, how is Hack Smarter and KairosSec? Well, thank you for asking, although I don't think anyone actually asked. But I'll tell you guys about it, because I do plan on making a standalone video about this, but probably like a cooler backdrop, maybe when I set up my phone there and you have the cool lights in the background and all of that fun stuff. But for those of you who do not know, I have been fully self-employed now for 21 days, which is insane. October 1st, I quit my stable and well-paying job as a pen tester for a pen testing firm to try to do this thing on my own. And really, I just wanted to give it a shot, see if I'm able to do it, see if I can provide for my family while not being reliant on another organization, and to have a little more freedom in determining my schedule and how I approach things and how I stream and how I make content, and not be restricted in that way. And so I did that. I quit my job, wasn't fired, really good relationships. I actually gave a 3-month notice, which I don't recommend because it's kind of awkward when you give a 3-month notice. But I told the firm that I was working at, like, look, guys, I'm not quitting to work for anyone else, and I want to make this as seamless as possible. So I'll stay as long as you need me so I can finish up any projects, because I was one of the more senior pen testers and was the only one who did a lot of the more complex cloud stuff. And so I stayed for 3 months until October 1st. And then October 1st, I was solo on my own, and that's where I'm building KairosSec and Hack Smarter. Now, the good news is, as I shared before, I am on an 8-day internal pen test right now for KairosSec, which is amazing. So I am actually getting paid each day while I work, which, is a good feeling to have. And then I've also been building Hack Smarter. If you haven't noticed, we release labs every single week. I just released a course on Sliver C2. It's 50% off right now, by the way. And I have more courses, more content, more labs coming up, and give you guys a preview of some of that. But yeah, I'm slowly building all of it. Really, I'm hoping KairosSec takes off, because that's how I'm going to pay my bills. Hack Smarter, I'll show this to you guys. If you're new to Hack Smarter, first of all, it's free right now. So the lab that we're going to work on tonight, you can click into Hack Smarter Live and you can hack with me for free. It doesn't cost you anything. But if you want to support me, like if you look at these subscriptions right here, Hack Smarter All Access gives you access to everything on the platform. That's all courses, all Hack With Me's, and all labs. But you can see that if you do the annual plan, it only costs you $16 a month, which is crazy. And then if you just want access to the labs, if you do the annual plan, it's only about $6 a month. Now, this platform, like to host this platform, the infrastructure and everything for it, I was saying like 500 to 800. I'm way off, because there's a lot of VMs that people are launching. Like we are at 3,200 VMs this month that people have launched, and I of course pay for the infrastructure. So like this platform alone costs me about, depending on the month, around $1,000 to $2,000 a month to host the infrastructure. I'm quite literally giving you these subscriptions basically at cost to myself, or even at a loss to myself. So I could raise prices, but then I feel like that defeats the whole purpose of Hack Smarter, of making content that is affordable and accessible for as many people as possible. So for as long as I am able, I'm trying to keep prices as affordable as I possibly can. It's likely the prices will eventually go up in the future, but if you subscribe now, you do get locked in at this rate. But this isn't cheap to run all of these labs. I mean, if you get a sub, you know this. Every lab that you launch, you have a fully private instance. It's never shared with anyone else. A lot goes into it. But anyways, that's one side of it. But this probably isn't going to actually be how I pay my bills. the way I'm going to pay my bills, hopefully, is not charging you guys money, but rather doing pen testing for different businesses. So this is the pen testing firm I started, KairosSec. And as you can see, we do all kinds of pen testing. So if your company is looking for a pen test in Q4 right now or 2026, we'd love to chat with you. I am the founder and the owner of KairosSec, and then my buddy Jerry is helping with some strategy stuff, basically the business-to-business sales. If you never done business-to-business sales, it's a much longer sales cycle, and it's a lot of like who you know. And I know a lot of like security engineer type people, but to be honest, I don't hang around with the C-suite people, whereas Jerry has some of those relationships. So he's helping me get things started by building some of those relationships. But yeah, this is KairosSec that I'm slowly trying to build. To answer one question, since I get this email multiple times every day of people sending me their resume and asking for a job, guys, I can't hire you. Like, I don't even know if I can pay myself, let alone pay other people. So maybe one day I'll be able to hire people, but like legit, guys, I'm still trying to figure out, can I pay my bills? Can I provide for myself through KairosSec, Hack Smarter, YouTube content? The answer is, I don't know. We're going to find out. I hope so. So far it's going well, but we're only a few weeks in. Now, as far as how things are going, as I shared before, they're going well, but I would say the biggest challenge that I've noticed is how valuable time is, which I recognize this before, obviously, but like right now I'm on that 8-day internal pen test. So I basically canceled all the meetings I had so I can focus on a pen test. I hate being interrupted when I'm pen testing. That might just be me, but when I'm pen testing, I get like hyper focused on the environment. And if I get interrupted for a meeting or something, it takes me a significant amount of time to get back to where I left off. So I really like to focus when I'm on an engagement, but that's hard when I'm trying to run everything else and people want to meet and I'm trying to respond to support tickets and stuff like that. So that's probably the biggest challenge, is trying to balance time, like giving back to the community, while also focusing on like the technical work and trying to do good work for clients and perform well for them so that they're getting really good value for what they're paying. And so I'm still trying to balance what that looks like. Same with streaming. Gosh, I just have so much going on during the day. I'm engaged the entire day in the pen test. And then like over lunch, I'll work a little bit on Hack Smarter, but often at night, that's when I'm working on Hack Smarter stuff, which makes streaming just difficult in general because of the engagement. But I will say, I'm not doing pen testing all the time. When I was at my previous firm, I did, I don't even know, hundreds of pen tests. I was always doing pen testing. At KairosSec, it will likely, I mean, if things go really well, maybe like 8 to 10 clients a year. I don't actually think we'll hit that, but maybe we would, which would be cool. But when I'm not doing pen testing during the day, there'll be a lot more of me streaming during the day, streaming content like this at day rather than at night. I just can't do that when I'm engaged with an active pen test in the moment. I think that's a good update. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Happy to be as open as possible, but that's kind of where things stand right now. Let me look over at chat and see what questions I have. Harrison, I do bug bounties full time. If you want to collaborate in Bug Crowd, I work with you so you can see how it goes. Oh, that's awesome. How do I feel? I'm still terrified. I mean, we're in it. There's no turning back now. Guys, I had a dream, maybe a nightmare, that I had to start applying for jobs and it sucked. I do not want to be an employee anymore. So hopefully I can make this thing happen. Hosea said, I purchased your all access for a year and studying for CompTIA. Dude, thank you. Thank you for your generosity and thank you for your support. People like you are what makes this possible. Seriously, thank you. How about an extra internship program where I'll be the one to pay for the experience? So the problem with that is even if you have an intern, the only way to do a good internship program, it takes a significant amount of time from me to provide the intern with work to do, to help train them, to help teach them. I mean, that's the whole purpose of doing an internship. I am not joking when, like, I legit don't have time to hire an intern or even to train someone as an intern. Like, here's kind of a snapshot of how my days look right now. I am doing the internal pen test for a client. I'm building Hack Smarter. I'm teaching for TCM Security. So I don't know if you saw this as well. I'm working for TCM as a contractor, but I'm teaching basically all of their live courses on the pen testing side of things for all of 2026, which is a significant commitment of my time. So I'm teaching all of their like Active Directory courses, all their web app hacking courses, their OSINT courses. Like I am apparently the live instructor now for all of it, for all of 2026. So I'm teaching for TCM Security. For Kaido, I'm also doing training for Kaido. So I have an engagement for Kaido coming up in the beginning of November where I'm doing business to business training. They have a business client who wants to learn how to use Kaido. So I have to help develop labs and develop the slides and presentations. And then that's like an all-day training that I'm doing for them. I'm keynoting for Simply CyberCon, which I haven't even had time to prepare the freaking talk for it, even though I'm keynoting for it. So like there's just way too much going on. I cannot add more to my plate. I cannot take on an intern because I quite literally don't have any more time I can possibly give to any other projects or people. I knew this first year would be crazy busy because really my plan in this first year is to have as many different streams of income as I can possibly have. I think if you ever want to make this leap to being self-employed full-time on your own, you need to make sure you're not just relying on one stream of income. Like I'll be brutally honest. If I was relying on KairosSec as my full-time job, I would be panicking because KairosSec has made zero money. For the pen test, they don't pay until they get the report, and then it's probably net 30. So like the pen test I'm on right now, I probably won't even get paid for it until December. Like if I was only relying on KairosSec, I'd be panicking. If I was only relying on Hack Smarter, I'd also be panicking. If I was only relying on YouTube, I'd be really panicking because I make like no money from YouTube. Like if you're doing this thing full time, you need multiple streams of income. And so this first year is really crazy for me because I'm trying to get my footing. Like I'm hoping in 2027, I can cut down on the streams of income, and maybe in 2027, I can identify like these two things provide the most value and these are how I pay my bills, and I can stop doing everything else. But I don't know what those things are going to be until I just try a bunch of different things and see what is most valuable for me and my family. So I'm quite literally trying to figure these things out in real time. So if you see like inconsistent streaming schedule and stuff, you'll just have to bear with me. I'm trying to figure it out. Write off everything remotely related to running and maintaining the business. I do. Black hoodie off. Yeah, I got hot. Had to take my hoodie off. THM and HackSmart, the intro to hacking methodology really helped me get started taking good notes. I love it. Good to hear. Your kids will grow up feeling the same way. I hope so. Guys, when I told my daughter, my son's just like, that's cool. But my daughter, she is 8, almost 9. So processing a little more on like jobs and stuff. And I told her that I was quitting my job to work for myself. And she still can't wrap her head around it. She's like, but who's going to pay you to work for yourself? And I said, well, technically I'm going to pay myself. Kind of. She's like, but how? And I'm like, I don't know. Hopefully I'll figure it out. Yeah, applying for jobs can suck. I feel for you, Harrison. Because to be honest, internship programs nowadays is just the way of companies hiring people so they can pay them less. It's true. That's why it's hard to find an internship these days. I think Bishop Fox does like a full internship program. I haven't done it, but I know a few people who work at Bishop Fox. So for those of you looking for an internship in the offensive security space, check them out. Bishop Fox, if you go to their website, I think on their main page, I saw something about internship, and I just had 2 friends who went to go work at Bishop Fox. Intern. Okay, I could have swore they have an intern thing. That educational programs, I don't even know, guys. Oh yeah, here we go. I don't know why this looks so bad. Is it because I have dark mode on? Yeah. So there you go. This is not sponsored by Bishop Fox, but they do internships. Do they have any openings? I don't know if they have any opens for internships. Here, they got a pen testing role if you guys want one, a contract role though. See, maybe like this is kind of my fallback plan. I don't know why that won't go away. If I cannot If I cannot get this thing to work solo, I probably won't still go back to being an employee. I'll probably just do contract work as a pen tester for different companies, but we'll see. We'll see. Don't forget to like the video. It's okay to lie. Oh, Threat Locker. So I'm not sure it's public, but I keep seeing the specific company on the jobs list. Full Sail University sends me, but Threat Locker. My company does paid interns as well. Trevor is the company. Need to be in SoCal or DC area. Gotcha. That's cool. Well, guys and gals, shall we dive into the live hacking? I'll answer a few more questions. Then we're going to hack because I don't plan on streaming for super long tonight because I've been working all day and I want to read a book, not stare at my screen. Do you find offensive security conferences a good place to network for jobs? I mean, maybe. There's no conferences around where I live, but the conferences I go to are DEF CON, Wild West Hacking Fest, and Simply CyberCon, and they're all amazing opportunities to network and meet people. Overall, I think the biggest thing is you don't want to make it like, I think networking, looking for a job feels too transactional to me. Like your focus should just be on building genuine relationships with people in the community. And if a job comes out of it, amazing. And I think if you approach it from a place of trying to build genuine friendships and relationships, the jobs will follow. But if you approach it by meeting someone for the sole purpose of getting them to hire you at their company, the job will not follow. When did you last talk to someone without a terminal between you? When did I last talk to someone? I mean, I talk to my wife and kids every day. I talk to people in my church every day. I'm actually pretty active in my community where I live. Like I help with a lot of community events and such as a volunteer. I'm a software engineer and looking for a second income stream. Want to try out pen test. Where should I start? You shouldn't. At least you shouldn't solo pen test. You could try to do contract work, but to do contract pen testing, you need pen testing experience. It'd be hard. You can't really be a software engineer and a full-time pen tester. I mean, you could try to do the whole 2-job thing. I personally find it not ethical, but you can give it a shot. But I will say to do solo pen testing, you generally need experience of what goes into a pen test. There's so much more than hacking all the things. You need to understand the legal side of things like MSAs and SALs and rules of engagements and insurance and LLCs and not getting yourself sued. Like there's a whole legal and business side of to pen testing. You don't just jump into someone's network and hack stuff unless you want to end up in prison or sued. So where to start? I would start by getting a pen testing job for another firm. I'll throw your name in some hats, Tyler. Budget's already planned, but people have wiggle room. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. What I can say is for the clients who go with Kairosec, and we have a handful already who have signed on, I want to be careful how I say this. I don't want to put down other companies, but you will get one of the best experiences that you are going to get if you work with Kairosec. The primary reason for that is we're only accepting a limited number of clients because each time we do a pen test, I block out my full calendar for that engagement, and I'm personally the one doing the engagement. At a lot of companies, you pay for a pen test, they put their most junior members on it, and you're going to get a vulnerability scan that's rebranded as a pen test report. You will not get that from Kairosec. You will get a deep dive into your infrastructure, and I will find real vulnerabilities that have a real impact, and I'll explain them to you in such a way that I'm not just like a nerdy person hanging out in their basement. Like, yes, I can be technical, but I can also speak business as well. And if you hire Kairosec, I think you'll be thoroughly impressed by the quality of the communication, the engagement, the pen test report itself, and just the overall relationship. So if your company truly, or you know someone looking for a pen test in 2026, have them reach out. You will not be disappointed if you go with Kairosec. I also know the rates that other companies charge, and I can tell you honestly that Kairosec is going to be more affordable than many other pen testing firms. They're definitely not the cheapest. I mean, you get a pen test for like $1,000, but it's going to be terribly done. We're definitely not the cheapest, but we're significantly more affordable than many of the other big names in the industry. But I would argue we're going to provide much better service and much better engagement than you're going to get from many of those big names. What book you reading? I'm reading the Wheels of Time series. Tyler, I just picked up a Kindle Scribe during Prime Day. I like it a lot. Yeah, I was just looked over to see mine must be upstairs. I use my Kindle Scribe every single day. I'm reading the Wheels of Time series right now. You guys should check it out. Haven't actually seen the show, but I really enjoy the book. I'm on like book 7, I think, of the Wheels of Time series. You don't think someone who works internally testing for a company shouldn't get a contract role for the side? When would you do the job? That'd be my question. Like, generally when it comes to pen testing, you're only doing it during the daytime hours. Most clients do not want you to touch their environment in the evenings or on the weekends, because regardless of how careful you are, there's always a chance that during the pen test you take a system offline, and they're going to be really upset if their on-call team has to come fix something in the evenings or weekends. So the vast majority of pen test engagements happen during normal business hours, and it would be hard to do a pen test during normal business hours when you're working internally for another company. Like, that's a decent conflict of interest there, I think. I want to ask about the Lemur Pro laptop. Do you think it's worth it? What has your experience been with it? Yes, it is worth it. I had some weird issues with it, but it was because I was using Xorg instead of Wayland, but I highly recommend it. I am using my Lemur Pro 14 right now to do all of this, to have my VMs running, to have OBS pulled up to stream to all of you. Everything you see right now is happening on the Lemur Pro 14 running Ubuntu. Hey, Tyler, what is your easiest room I should do? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Over on Hack Smarter, you could begin with our newest machine we just released is, I would say, pretty easy, Slayer. I have some challenge machines I've made. It's just we have such a schedule, not schedule. I'm trying to think of the right word. A queue. Like, a lot of people have submitted machines, which is awesome. Like, we are booked for machines out till February now. We'll be releasing new labs every single week. I want to give you guys a preview of some of those real quick, but I'll answer a few more questions. Hopefully you guys, even though I'm not like hacking right now, hopefully you find the Q&A helpful, talking about real careers and pen testing and all that stuff. Yeah, TCM's awesome. I recommend TCM. I mean, I now teach for TCM, so yeah, check out TCM. Was just curious on your answer. I know a lot of senior people who work internally and also do contracting on the side. I mean, I guess it depends what they do at their normal job. All right, guys, a few things. What's the pricing options for Hack Smarter? Dude, well, since you asked, your best value is Hack Smarter All Access for the yearly plan. All right, I'm not just trying to sell you something, although it sounds like that. I'm basically, if you get the yearly plan, it's essentially at a loss to me, right? Like, the platform costs me more than what I'm charging you for. But for only $16 a month, you unlock everything. So you get access to all of my full courses. So like Sliver course, for example, has 70 video lessons, 20 labs. It's amazing. Hands-on Fishing teaches real fishing engagements. This, of course, teaches AWS pen testing with 2 custom capstone challenges created by me. Intro to Hacking Methodology is also a custom machine created by me based on CVEs I found in the real world. Hack with Me's are like guided sessions with custom notes and interactive quizzes and all the labs. So like, if you do the Hack Smarter All Access annual plan, you get access to everything. And coming very soon is Hack Smarter ranges. These are going to be multi-machine ranges. Think Hack the Box Pro labs. If you're in the Hack Smarter All Access, you will get access to these as well when they release. So that's going to be your best value. If you only want access to the labs, you can do this one. If you do the yearly, it's only about $6 a month. That'll give you access to all the labs, and we release new labs every single week. So it depends on what your use case is. You can also do the monthly plans if you want, but that's quite a bit more, right? $16 a month versus $29 a month. I mean, it's double if you do the monthly plan, but I mean, that's up to you. Those are the pricing options. Yeah, Arasaka is a good one too if you know AD. And each machine has good walkthroughs, so I don't want to click into some of these because it might show the flags, but every machine has people who submit walkthroughs, and every single one has at least one or more really good walkthroughs. So if you get stuck, there's a lot of resources to help you. There's also no embargoes on streaming. Like, as soon as a machine releases, you can stream, make content, share it with the world, use it in your resume, all of that stuff. All right, guys, let me show you some quick previews of 2 machines. Hey, thank you, Rocco. Seriously, thank you for joining the community. Like, you have no idea what your support means to me as I work on building these things. You're awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. 2 new labs. One lab is going to be coming out. Doesn't it just look cool? Would you just look at it? Evasive. All right, this lab is coming out on Thursday/Wednesday night. This is actually created by Hadrian. Adrian, I don't know if you know him. He used to be one of the head content engineers at TryHackMe. If you've done TryHackMe, you've done his rooms on TryHackMe. He does a really good job creating rooms. He no longer works at TryHackMe. He is now a red team operator, and he is part of our team of making machines. This is his first machine that he is releasing on our platform, and I am not joking when, like, guys, you're in for a treat when it comes to this machine. I don't know. Here, I want to make sure I'm not showing anything. Was this handle THM? Yeah, or Adrian. If you see him on Discord, it's Adrian. He's still on their QA team. But guys, this machine is I'm not showing the flags. It's so cool. What I really like about this machine is it's not get the flags. It's actually goal execution. Defender is fully up to date as well. There's some anti-brute force mechanisms. Very realistic lab, but you have to find the name of the company that's being bought, NTLM hash of the admin, and the credit card number of the compromised user. So not capture the flags, but rather goal execution and retrieving key information like a real red team engagement. So this is releasing this week. I think you guys will really enjoy it. Another one that is coming out the following week is Cisco. I don't think I have any information in this one yet, like on the main lab page. But this, if you know Lang Kusanagi, he has the famous OSCP list. If you've done the OSCP, like within the past 2 years, you know who Lang Kusanagi is. He made his OSCP like list. It's kind of like TJ Knowles, but a little more accurate to what the OSCP is expecting. But he made this machine exclusive for our platform, an Active Directory medium lab that I think you guys will really enjoy. If you ever go to his list and you scroll down, you can actually see that Hack Smarter is part of the official like OSCP prep list from Lane, and he made this machine that would be coming out the following week. So this one is going to release probably October 29th or October 30th. So 2 really good labs that are coming out in the very near future. So if you don't have a sub yet, this is your motivation. Go get a sub because the prices of those subs will increase. Hey, Abel, I answered your question about the Lemur Pro 14. If you missed it, you'll have to rewind the video. Okay, what we are going to do in today's stream is Talisman, which I've seen those Cisco food trucks around. I know it's crazy. They're advertising for us. First, let me make sure. I don't think I have. Yeah, I haven't even solved this machine. This machine is rated as medium. I personally think it's hard because I don't know Oracle. But this is what we're going to work on today. I guarantee we're not going to solve it tonight. We'll just spend a little bit of time poking at it, doing some initial enumeration, but it's pretty hard. But here's the thing. You can join me for free. You don't even have to have a subscription. If you go out to hacksmarter.org, you will see at the top of the page this Hack Smarter live event. All you have to do is register for this. Now, it's free for you. It's not free for me. So if you want to tip something for the infrastructure, like if you want to give $1,000, you'd be my hero. But you don't have to. You can do 0 and join the event. Pay what you can. And you'll have, it was 2 hours, but we've been talking for a long time, but you have 1 hour and 60 minutes of completely free access. So go ahead and go to hacksmarter.org and join the event so that you can hack alongside of me. But I'm going to go ahead and get some things set up. I'm going to download the VPN for this machine. Sudo OpenVPN, Challenge Lab, Talisman, put in my password, get on the VPN, and we're also going to be recording a standalone video for YouTube. So for those of you new to my live streams, it's during these live streams that I also make my standalone YouTube videos for people to watch later on. So in just a little bit, I'll hit the record button. Welcome everyone again. It'll feel like you guys are on a freaking game show, but that's fine. Let me go ahead and see if I can ping this IP, make sure we have connectivity, and we do. Okay, cool. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a moment while I get logged into Notion and get my notes pulled up. Do 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 do. Come on, Notion. You can work faster than that. Thank you. All right, almost there. On-prem, scroll down, make a new page for Talisman. All right. See if I'm missing any questions before I start recording. I will leave chat up on the screen while I record. Is chat on the screen? On this screen? Let's test. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. All right. We will spend about maybe 20 minutes on the first video. We might make a second video as well. But the first video will just focus on enumeration. What is going on here? Do you guys notice this? What? Talisman medium and Talisman easy. What did I break? Oh, okay. No, it's medium. There. All right, back to preview. Anyways, I actually haven't solved this machine. We have an amazing QA team on volunteers who volunteer to QA teams over on Hack Smarter. One is Robit. I think that's how you say it. He's actually one of the head mods on VulnLab and has made many of the VulnLab machines. So really knows his stuff. Still trying to convince him to make some machines for Hack Smarter, but he does help QA these machines. The other one is 0x Bob. You may know him from Try Hack Me. Amazing at making walkthroughs and amazing at doing QAs. And the third is Ryan Yeager. You've seen many of his machines are Overgrown Carrot. If you've done Hack Smarter, you've likely done one of his machines, but they are the QA team. So they went through this machine. I don't think I ever personally solved it. I looked at what the machine consisted of, and I saw like this crazy Oracle voodoo, and I was like, man, this is going to be tough. So we're going to struggle through this together through this series of working through Talisman and learning about Oracle and hacking all the things. But let me go ahead and get a drink of water, and we will start recording. And good to hear, Sozo. I'm glad that you've been able to implement my note taking, and it's been helpful. All right, guys, before we hit record, I apologize for this, but my employer told me that I can only stream if I at least share one short 1-minute video of him talking. So apologies, but my employer told me to share this, so here's my employer. If you want to be an ethical hacker, one of the best things to learn is how to use a C2 framework or a command and control framework. I just released a brand new course on Sliver C2 and how to use it for both pen testing and evasion. This course is 50% off right now, and in this course, let me give you a brief overview of everything that's in it. There are over 70 lessons taught by me, full video lessons with a text component so you can easily add it to your notes. There's over 20 custom labs built into the course. These are labs that I'm hosting for you. You don't have to spin anything up. You just download the course VPN and then you can attack each environment, and they're fully private instances. You don't have to share them with anyone else. There's a custom capstone challenge at the end that reinforces everything the course taught you, and then a 6-part video series of me walking you through that capstone challenge. There's a verified certificate of completion that you'll get at the end of the course. And better yet, every single student has the opportunity to get one-on-one support from me. Once again, this is taught by me as a practitioner, not just an influencer. Once again, this course is 50% off right now for lifetime access. Otherwise, it's also available in the HackSmarter All Access plan. You can get that right now for only about $16 a month if you pay for the annual plan. So hey, what are you waiting for? Head over to hacksmarter.org and learn how to do ethical hacking with the Sliver C2 framework. All right, now that we got that loser out of the way, we can finally hack all the things. Seriously though, check out the course. If you get HackSmarter All Access, it's included. Oh, how do you get a HackSmarter shirt? You know what? I need to add that to the actual website, don't I? If you go to store.hacksmarter.org, and I'll drop this link in chat, you can get some HackSmarter swag. It's just a redirect to Printful, but you can see we have some HackSmarter swag here. So yeah, get all the things. I once again price these at cost. It forces me to mark it up, but I think I mark it up by like 2 pennies or something really small like that. So what you see is basically what it costs to sell. I'm not making money off of the HackSmarter swag. So yeah, go get all the swag. Actually, someone at WoW Was Hacking Fest bought a bunch of stickers and handed them out. Like I got a sticker from HackSmarter, which was amazing. I need to put that like on my microphone, which would be sweet. We don't like your employer. Replace him with AI. I will. All right, let's go ahead and dive. This machine's going to go to sleep pretty soon if I just keep talking, because it will time out if there's no interaction with it. So let me go ahead and start recording for YouTube, and then we will dive into this. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are beginning a brand new machine called Talisman over on the HackSmarter platform. This is a medium-rated Linux machine. Personally, I think it's a little bit harder than medium, at least the initial access, but that's mainly just because I suck with what the database that we're going to be working with. I don't want to give too much away until we dive into it together. This machine is on the HackSmarter platform, so if you don't have a sub to HackSmarter, I strongly recommend it. You can check it out at hacksmarter.org, but you can get a sub at an incredibly affordable rate and get access to all of the labs and courses on the platform. All that being said, let me share my screen and let me dive in. You might also notice that there is chat on the screen. I make these videos while I live stream so that this content is as accessible and as widely available for as many people as possible. And I live stream pretty often. If you've never joined me for a live stream, you are missing out. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell notification so that you're notified the next time that I am live. All that being said, let's go ahead and dive into Talisman. Now, I've already launched the machine. I've already connected to the VPN, but now we will begin. And actually, before we even look at objective and scope, I'm going to add it to my Etsy host file just so we don't have to remember the IP each time. The Etsy host file on Linux just resolves domain names and IPs. So I'm going to do sudo nano Etsy host and drop down to the bottom. Paste in the IP, hit tab, and I'll just call it talisman.hsm for HackSmarter and make sure I can ping it, and we can. Okay, cool. All right, what are we working on today? It says that we have been assigned a penetration test on a critical Linux server in the client's environment. The scope is strictly limited to a single Linux server environment designated as the target. The primary objective is to gain root-level access to the system to demonstrate maximum impact and the full extent of the security compromise of the client. A set of leaked creds recently recovered from a third-party data breach have been provided. While the specific service or application these creds belong to is unknown, they serve as the initial vector for establishing a foothold. And we have our initial credentials, and we have a user flag and a root flag. I'm going to go ahead and grab these initial credentials, jump over to our notes, and just drop them at the top. Now, just a word on realism. A big focus of HackSmarter is we want labs that are realistic, and this right here is actually super realistic. The whole idea of elite credentials, and I might be able to show this to you guys. Let me get this pulled up on my other monitor and make sure there's nothing sensitive here. But when I am doing an actual pen test, I use dhashed, which allows me to do this very thing. If I'm targeting, I'm going to say Tesla.com because I know they have an active bug bounty program without getting myself in trouble. If I'm targeting Tesla, which let me, oh, you know what? I can't. with the way Pipewire works, I don't have a good way of sharing my screen here. I'm going to try to switch things around so I can show this to you guys, because I think it'll be pretty cool to see if you've never looked at like access to a data breach and how you start a real pen test. But when I'm doing an actual pen test, one of the first things that I'll do is I'll look up breaches for that organization and get a collection of clear text passwords and usernames. I may not know what the passwords and usernames go with, but I know I have a username and a password, and if I find a service, I can do a password spray or try to log in with those credentials. Let me go ahead and see if I can switch my screen share real quick to an application window, and we'll go to dehashed, and there we go. Hopefully you guys can see it okay, but this is dehashed, and you can see I just looked for Tesla.com. Now, I don't want to get myself in trouble by what I show, but this is sort of public information. But I'm going to click into this right here, and you can see we have, good, it doesn't actually show me a clear text password. Often it will show you the clear text password, but you can see if I was doing an engagement for Tesla.com, I have some username of KLOP2, probably Elon's personal account. Password that's not actually the correct password, I'm guessing, but we have some hash password information. But if I switched over to like passwords on Tesla.com and did search, these are a bunch of users. Like I can click into these and it will likely give me the user's clear text password, or at least their hash password. Then I can try to crack it with a hash. They also have an API. So when I do this on an actual engagement, I'll target the domain and I'll pull down every single user and password combination, and I'll create a password list for myself. So throughout the engagement, I have a set of credentials that I can spray at various services. So when you're looking at this lab and it begins with a potentially breach set of credentials from a third-party data breach, very real world and very similar to how I approach an actual engagement. Let me go ahead and reshare to the correct screen here. Application window, grab my Kali VM. But for those of you following along in the live stream, let me know if you've ever played around with something like dehashed. That's what many pen test firms use when they're hunting for credentials. But here we go. We got Jane and Great Talisman 1 exclamation mark. So in this scenario, we can imagine that we are doing this pen test. We use dhash to find leak credentials, and we found a set of leak credentials, Jane and Great Talisman 1. We're just not sure what service those credentials are for. But let's go ahead and begin with our initial enumeration. We have a Linux IP. We know it's a Linux server because that's what the client told us, and that is the IP that is in scope. So let's first just see what ports are running on this machine. I'm going to go over to Hack Smarter, and I'm going to make a new directory for Talisman, CD into Talisman, and I like to use Rustscan just because it's easier for those new to remember the syntax, but you can also just use Nmap. But we'll do Rustscan-A, we'll do Talisman HSM, and then we'll pass it over to Nmap. Now, if you've never used Rustscan, let me explain to you a little bit about what is going on here. The first part of this scan is saying, hey, Rustscan, I want you to look to see what ports are open on this target. And then I'm saying, hey, once you find an open port, I want you to pass it over to Nmap. And with Nmap, I want you to scan each open port with the -A flag. Now, if you know your Nmap ports or Nmap flags, you know that -A means throw all the enumeration scripts at it. So what's cool about this command right here is it uses some of the speed of Rustscan, but you still get the good enumeration of Nmap, and it's altogether very simple command to remember. But you can see right away we have port 22, which is going to be SSH, and port 8978, which off the top of my head, I don't know what service that port goes to, so it's going to be something worth digging into. We can jump back over to our notes and begin setting up our notes. I like to do an H1, and we will do an enumeration, and we'll do H2, and we'll drop in our Nmap scan results. Now in Notion, you can use 3 backticks to do a code block. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then we can drop the results in there. And the other thing I like to do at the top of the page is make a table of contents so we can very quickly see everything that we've covered up to this point. We'll jump back over to our scan. We can see that our scan is still running, but we can actually begin doing some basic enumeration right away. I'm going to do another H2, and I'm going to call it SSH. Knowing it's on port 22. And when it comes to SSH, it's likely not going to be our way in, but we do have a set of credentials. And the first thing to check if you're doing a pen test and SSH is open or available, you want to answer the question, is SSH using password-based authentication or key-based authentication? The best practice is to always use key-based authentication, using a private key that is hopefully secured by a password rather than password-based authentication. If SSH allows password-based authentication, it's much easier for a threat actor to do password spraying and potentially compromise SSH and get remote access to the machine. Very easy to check. If we just do SSH root at talisman.hsm, and since we're prompted for a password, it actually means that password-based auth is enabled. And if we were doing a pen test, this would be a finding, not a big finding, more of an informational, but security best practices is always use key-based authentication for SSH. So I'm going to say password-based auth is enabled. And once again, this would be an informational that you would likely add to the pen test, especially if this was an internet-facing SSH port. But knowing that it allows password-based authentication, we could see if we can get lucky. I think the user's name was Jane. And then we have Jane's password right here. Maybe if I can highlight it. And we can try Jane's password. And we cross our fingers. But it doesn't work. So we can add that to our notes, though, that we tried that. And let's see if Rust scan is done yet. It is finally running the Nmap scan. So you can see, well, there it's done. It took a little bit of time to go through all of it. But we only have those two ports. So let me copy all of this. Well, this probably isn't super helpful. I'm just glancing through it. We'll just copy down to this right here. Keep our notes pulled up. I was going to cry if that works. You never know. Like, you'd be surprised on real engagements what ends up working and how quickly you can compromise many clients' environments just by trying simple things. We've already looked into SSH. Nothing going to be useful there to us, but we do know if we find credentials, we will want to use those credentials against SSH since password-based auth is enabled, or if we find a vulnerability like LFI that allows us to read remote files, we might be able to find a user's like ID RSA key and use that as access. So anytime you see SSH, those are the things that you should be thinking in your mind, whether it's a real engagement, a CTF, or an exam. The other service that we have running, we don't even know what it is. It seems to be some type of web service. We get unknown and it's showing a bad request when they try to connect to it. So I'm going to do H2 and we will say web service question mark and 8978. What severity do you rate anonymous login on FTP or SMB? It depends what is in there, but if you can do like a null bind to SMB, you can usually dump all of the users and all of the groups, and you'd be surprised how often organizations store sensitive information in the description, which you can also dump with netexec. So if you can do all of that, then it's pretty high. It all depends on what you can do with that access. Anyways, we have our web service on 8978 maybe. Let's go ahead and see what the heck this web service is. We'll do HTTP talisman.hacksmarter 8978, I think is the port. And it's some Cloud Beaver Community Edition. That is loading. And we prompt for authentication. All right, let's grab a screenshot of this for our notes. I like to use Flameshot. And I'll just maybe copy that. And let's jump over to our notes. And let's make it a little bit smaller. This wouldn't load for you? Did you have like some weird extension on? Although my screenshot won't load. Does that count? If it wouldn't load for you, try it again, but it should load unless you have like some weird extension that's blocking it. I use Firefox. What is going on with the screenshot though? Okay, well, no screenshot because Notion apparently doesn't want me to do screenshots. You'll just have to take my word for it. So we're going to have to read about what the heck Cloud Beaver is, but note that we are prompted for a username. So I'm going to try the credentials that we were given. Jane and Great Talisman, since we have another spot for a username and password. I think the screenshot thing might be a Notion thing. I'm having the same issue with my Notion. Gotcha. Not something I can fix then. Maybe AWS went down again and Notion relies on them for screenshots. Okay, and we were able to successfully log in to this machine, so I want to make note of that. I'm going to do an H3, and I'll just say initial access. So we were able to log into the Cloud Beaver service with the leaked credentials. And looking at Cloud Beaver, it clearly seems to be a GUI, a graphical user interface for working with Oracle databases. We have the Oracle database here at 172.17.0.1. I try to click it. We also could open the SQL editor. We could look at documentation, how to use Cloud Beaver. Let's get a feel for what the heck Cloud Beaver actually is. Welcome. Actually, I think I've encountered Cloud Beaver before. A powerful database management tool designed for teams and businesses. It supports a wide range of databases, including SQL, NoSQL, and Cloud, all accessible through a web browser. Blah, 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 blah. How can I hack you? That's the real question that we want to know. But I'm looking over at the time. This is actually a really good stopping point. We're at about the 15-minute mark, and we have done some solid enumeration together. So if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, we've been able to enumerate the server together. We found Cloud Beaver living at 8978. We were able to authenticate with the leaked credentials from the beginning, that Jane username. And I want to give you a challenge. Now that I showed you how to get initial access to the Cloud Beaver instance, I want you to do some digging. Can you figure out somehow, some way to abuse Cloud Beaver or the database to get remote code execution to actually get a shell on the machine? Give it a shot on your own first. A lot of learning comes with the struggle, and if you get stuck, that's okay. You can join me in the next video where I also struggle to figure out how to get a shell on this machine. But give it a shot on your own first, and then join me and we'll work through it together. I'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, if you're on the live stream, though, don't go anywhere. We're not leaving yet. We're going to keep trying to hack into it. I just wanted to record part 1 for YouTube. We'll start recording part 2 shortly. I need to stop sharing my screen for just a moment while I grab that video on my host machine and put it in the right folder so it's ready to be uploaded to YouTube. Hey, Julio, I am live on YouTube and on Twitch. On YouTube, if you just search Tyler Ramsby, you'll find me. And on Twitch, I'll drop a link to the Twitch in chat. That is the Twitch. Okay, let me go to videos, publish, paste, rename, Talisman part 1. And Arasaka, I can put all those in archive because I think I'm done with that. All right, let me check Discord, make sure I'm not missing anything there. Which I don't think I am. Nothing's broken for anyone as of right now. All right. What up, Kish InfoSec? I actually had some success dumping usernames with the RPC client a few weeks ago on engagement. Nice. Yeah, when you can dump usernames, it'll make your job a lot easier. You can do surprisingly a lot with a list of valid usernames. Oh, Josiah said, my Notion's not working either for screenshots. So it's a Notion issue. Oh, well. It's not working for all of us. It is what it is. All the learning comes with all the struggles. Exactly. That's what AI kept telling me to do. Download Fire. Do you use a Mac, Amish Runaway? You must use a Mac if you're using Safari. You see, like, you just need to get a Lemur Pro. It's like a Mac, but open source. Did the AWS outage affect your courses? Absolutely it did. Yeah, like the machines that you guys are interacting with are living in AWS as EC2s. And the biggest impact, or one of the biggest impact on AWS, after they resolved it, the EC2s were still having issues. So like they were getting stuck in launch or stopping. And I had a lot of tickets on the Hack Smarter side of things, and me just telling users, like, I'm sorry, there's quite literally nothing I can do about it until AWS figures out their crap. Windows start working better after cutting the stream? Yes. Significantly better. I don't know what the issue is. It's only my Windows VM. My CPU and everything is fine, but when my Windows VM is running and I'm live streaming, my Windows VM is like unusable. As soon as I stop live streaming, it's like a native. It works really well, like a native OS on the machine. I don't know why it breaks. It doesn't do it to any of my other VMs, and this is like a very unique engagement where I have to do the entire engagement from Windows. Usually I don't use Windows for an engagement unless I jump on it momentarily to do something with Active Directory. But in this case, I have to use a Windows VM the entire time because the VPN client only works with Windows. So then I'm using Kali on WSL inside of a VM, which is very Inception-like. But I can't do those work with me streams while I'm using that Windows VM, unfortunately. Do you recommend studying after hours or on the clock? I mean, if you have downtime, do it on the clock. Get paid to study. Absolutely. Studying after hours, I mean, do it if you're able to have the motivation to do so, but it can be a challenge. Even now, like, frick, I've worked all day on a pen test, and now I'm back online hacking. I enjoy it, but it does get to be a lot, and it can mess with your mental focus. So it depends on you. But if you have downtime during the day, yes, study while you're getting paid for it. Absolutely. Is it a roaming profile? I have no idea, dude. Finding balance is tough. It is tough. I'm still trying to figure that out. That's why I've been streaming less, though. Like, I've just been so busy during the day and evening that I've learned that my pace is not sustainable. I mean, I've been doing this pace for a long time, but I know when I need a night off, and that's when I just take a night off, right? It is what it is. I've slowly learned my limits. I know, like, emotionally and mentally when I can keep pushing myself and when I need to back off a little bit. So I'm streaming now. I'll likely stream tomorrow, maybe, and Thursday. I'm not sure. Will just depend how the day goes during the day. My daughter's sick as well, and my son was sick. So also with kids, like when I have sick kids, I never know what's going to happen at night. I don't know how much sleep I'm going to get. So there's a lot of things that go into this on whether or not I stream at night. But anyways, let's go ahead and start recording part 2. This is probably just going to be me stumbling around. I bet we won't even get initial access, but we'll see how it goes. The burnout's been hitting me too. Too much Hack Smarter. No such thing. There's no such thing as too much Hack Smarter. But no, take a break, dude. Hey, Tyler, would SQL work on the Beaver Cloud? I hope so. It is a SQL editor thingy. Let's start recording. We'll find out together. We don't have to do SQL injection. We can run SQL queries. We don't have to do an injection. We can run actual queries. We might need to enlist some AI help on this one, though, because I'm not great with Oracle and working with Oracle. So we'll see what we can do, but we'll do it in real time. Let me start recording. Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This is part 2 of working through the Talisman machine here on Hack Smarter. Now, if this is the first video that you are watching, I recommend starting with part 1. Otherwise, you might feel a little bit lost. But in this video, we just gained access to a Cloud Beaver instance with some leaked credentials. This video is likely going to consist of me stumbling around and getting confused and trying to do this, but hey, that's what hacking actually looks like, and I want to invite you with me on this troubleshooting journey as we try to figure out how to get remote code execution or remote file read via Cloud Beaver. All that being said, let me share my screen. We'll dive in together. By the way, this is a lab on Hack Smarter. If you don't have a sub to Hack Smarter, you should get one. It's incredibly affordable, and we release new labs all of the time. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's dive in and pick up right where we left off. If you remember in the previous video, we ended by discovering this service on port 8978. It accepted a username and password. We used the Jane credentials that we found in that third-party data breach in video 1, and we were able to log into the Cloud Beaver service with the leaked credentials. We spent a little bit of time looking at what the heck is Cloud Beaver, and the TLDR is it's a web GUI for managing databases. But let's go ahead and figure out what the heck we are able to do with this. So we can see we have this Oracle database here. We might be able to check out the schemas. We can look, I don't know, we have a few that might be interesting to look into. We have dev. We can look at the tables potentially. If I double click it, does Cloud Beaver open it for me? All right, we just have 1, 2, 3, and dev 1, dev 2, dev 3. You know, it'd be amazing if we could just like find a password, but I'm pretty sure that's too easy. That's not going to be what we have to do. We see like some admin users. We could try to click into those. We can go to tables, and I apologize. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Can I? Yeah. I'll zoom in for you guys a little bit so you can see what I'm clicking into a little bit better. Do we have no tables here? There are no items to show. All right, we have some sys backup stuff. I'm going to go ahead and minimize some of these just so I can get a better look for things. Sys backup, I mean, that might be interesting. I have no idea. We have no tables for that either. What do we have down here? We have global metadata. Here, let's close schemas. What do we have in global metadata? We have some types. Oh, okay, that's just types of like file format. We have a recycle bin. Did our user throw anything away? Did you throw away any passwords? Doesn't look like it. How about storage? We have some table spaces within storage. It doesn't seem to have anything interesting. How about security? Yeah, how about users? Oh, wow, we have a bunch of users, but I think these are mainly built-in users to an Oracle database. I'm almost certain these are all built-in users. Might be wrong there. Global metadata? Maybe. I don't know. I like to just... Oh, table view doesn't exist. On a CTF or even a real engagement, I like to just explore. Click around and see what might be here. It looks like neither of those exist. And just see, like, what do we have access to? Are there any easy wins? How does the application actually work? This is actually a big part of a web app pen test, although that's not what this is. If you do web app pen testing, which Amish Runaway, you'll know this doing Bug Bounty, I usually spend the first day of a web app pen test of just using the application like a normal user. You can't break something that you don't understand. And so I'll spend the entire day just like, how would a normal user use this web app? And I take notes as I go. And that's actually incredibly important. Something that junior pen testers often overlook is just learn how to use the app as a normal user and then think about how you can break it. So even on something like this, I just try to like play around with it. Like what can I actually do? So here we have a role. I don't know. Oh, I can't actually change my role. I might be able to. Like that could be something we might be able to abuse. If we go to preferences, nothing. Let's data editor, SQL editor. So these are just preferences for that. We can look at authentication. So we could change our user's password, but I don't know why we would want to do that. There's not much else here. But there was, I saw an option to run queries. Is there like save queries? Can you see like a user's previous queries? An entire day? It depends on the size of the application, but I'll spend a lot of time using it. Especially like, this is probably different than bug bounty, but in a web app pen test, generally what will happen is you'll get 2 different tenants that you're testing, so you can test cross tenant attacks, and then often there's 4 or 5 different privilege levels. So it might be unauthenticated, guest user, normal user, admin user, and so I want a good feel of what each one of these users can do traditionally, and then dive into stuff from there. Paid by the hour. I'm paid by the project, not the hour. So, man, I'm assuming we have to run like some Oracle queries. And here I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Here is where like I generally try not to rely on AI. Especially when I'm learning or doing labs. I think it's too easy to turn to the almighty robots. Let me jump over to this. It's too easy to rely on the almighty robots. I think there's something worth just like digging in on your own. But when it comes to something like this, that's where I think it might be worth trying the almighty robots. Now, we'll try Gemini. I used to use GPT, but I don't have a GPT subscription, but I get a Gemini sub as part of my Google Workspace. And so I'm going to say, like, give me a TLDR on Cloud Beaver. Let's just begin with that. So nothing super interesting there. Let's see. For an Oracle database, I am doing a CTF and have access to Cloud Beaver. What are some SQL statements I should try to execute for testing? Okay, well, this actually seems somewhat helpful. We'll see whether or not it's helpful or AI is hallucinating, but we can select user from dual. Is dual, that will find out which schema we're authenticated as, dictate our access level. That might be a good starting point. I mean, let's go ahead and try it. I'm assuming I can just execute the statement here, and we are the dev user. And let's go to make sure we're taking good notes here. So I'm going to say H3, enumerating the database, or enumerating the Oracle database. And I want to drop in the specific queries that I'm using here, so that if I ever encounter this in the future, I know like, hey, this will show me what I'm running. So I'm going to maybe add some comments here. So checking my user's privileges. And if you use AI, which is fine, I'm obviously using it right now, I'm not mad about it, but make sure you document what it's actually doing and what you're learning as a result, so that you can learn that stuff yourself. And our user is running, I'm going to do like that to show the response of each query. So we're running as the dev user. And I don't know, oh, Gemini is right here. So database version, determine the exact version, useful for exploits. Is that really how it goes? V dollars version? Okay. Let's try it. Hey, Cody Crooks with a super chat for a GPT subscription for 1 month. I thank you. We'll see how Gemini does, but shown value panel. There we go. So this is the version information. But dude, you're amazing with the super chat. Now I will say YouTube takes freaking like 60% of the super chat, so you're gonna have to give even more to afford that GPT sub of 1 month. But thank you, Cody, seriously, for the super chat. You're awesome. We'll do that to show the output. That's actually hilarious though. I love it. So we could look into any vulnerabilities with that. But before we do that, I just want to go through each one of these queries and understand what it's doing. So list all system privileges granted the current table. So if we can create tables, drop any tables, that might be helpful. Really, I want to know, like, what I think would be useful is if we could read remote files, something along those lines. Oh, and we have We actually have a bunch of permissions from what I can see here. I don't know if there's a good way for me to copy all of this and paste it. Can I? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Dude, Cody, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your generosity. Like, you have made my night as well. Thank you, Cody, for your generosity. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go get a GPT sub just because of you. You're awesome, dude. Thank you. Any Halloween sale giveaways that are going to do? Maybe. I just keep it one day at a time. Who knows? All right, so we can see my privileges there. I'm not going to do that to each one of them, but we can set containers, create index type, create operator, create type, drop, create, trigger, procedure, cluster, create table, create session. Now, I don't know much about Oracle permissions, but it does seem like we have a lot of permissions in this environment that we might be able to abuse. And I almost want to jump to that. What else do we have this? List all roles. Okay, that might actually be helpful as well to test before we start just hacking all the things. What roles do we have? We have... Okay, we have two roles, resource and connect. Resource and connect. Oh, not A. All right, Gemini. Gemini is doing pretty good, guys. List tables owned by the current user. I don't know if that'll be helpful in this instance. Find columns in a specific table. We already can look at that partially. Ooh, privilege. Did Gemini is doing pretty good, if I must say so myself. If you're looking to escalate privs or access more restricted data, try these Oracle-specific queries. External data access out of band. These can interpret data or confirm a blind... Well, we don't need to confirm a blind SQL injection. We can execute SQL queries. So, okay, he's a little bit confused here. We don't need to do SQL injection. I'm going to drop the list of permissions to see what Gemini has to say about these. Because I have a feeling these we're going to be able to abuse in some cool way to do something. Okay, they are high. I was right. I know very little about Oracle permissions, but they looked high to me as well. Your primary goal is to find sensitive data, like a flag, user credentials, system information. Find all columns, read sensitive data. See, I don't know if it's... I already kind of looked at that. I don't know if that's going to be the way forward. This seems interesting. The permissions are major, blah, blah. Code execution. This is what I want. Your create procedure privilege allows you to create stored procedures, which can be combined with other system packages to potentially read or write files on the database server. List existing logical directories. If a directory points to a sensitive path, you can use it with a UTL file if available to read. I don't even know what the frick that means. All right, let's try it. Oh, okay. Does Notion do anything with these notes? I do not know. I wouldn't store like sensitive or client information in Notion, but for a CTF, I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. They can train their AI on my CTF data if they want. What was this called? UTL file, list existing logical directories. Select that from all directories, and if we look over at Cloud Beaver, I'm just want to see if any of these, can I move this up? Yeah. Okay. So we have this admin directory, we have this XML directory. We have opt data. So we could potentially try to read those, I'd assume. Oh, wait, what? Create or replace directory, CTF directory as temp. Can I read? Does Notion do anything with these notes? Oh, I meant like putting it all together and finding a vulnerability. I'm not sure. I don't know what you mean by put it all together. Like you as a person can. I don't know if Notion does. I don't really use the Notion AI. I think that's a paid feature, and I use a free version of Notion. Create or replace. Is the command actually create or replace? Maybe it is. I don't freaking know. Let's do this. Create or replace directory, CTF directory as. Oh, no. Not open that. I want to see if I can read Etsy password. Okay, that worked. Pointing to a path on the machine. And now, just for a POC, to read the Etsy password, you'll need to use the Oracle built-in package UTL file, which we already saw, with an anonymous PL SQL block. The following PL SQL block will use your created directory object to open, read the contents of, and display the Etsy password file. I mean, it probably won't, but, you know, we can hope for the best. Gemini is actually being more useful than I was expecting here. You may need to have the execute privilege on the UTL file to make this work, but given your high create privilege, there's a strong likelihood you can use it. What are we doing here? So we're declaring this file handle, setting the characters, open the file in read mode using the created directory object. Our file name is passwords like Etsy password open mode R. Read the file line by line. Close the file handle end. So we might have to enable DBMS output, and we might have to execute a script. Run the entire code block above as a single script in the Cloud Beaver SQL editor. The output will appear in the dedicated server output panel. I mean, what do we have to lose? Let's give it a shot. Paste that. Is this a script button? Execute SQL script. Why do I have to close the tab? Yes. Invalid SQL statement. Did I do something wrong? What if I just do that? Did it work? What did it told me I had to enable something. Amish Runner says, yeah, I'm lost. That makes two of us. Enable DBMS output. Okay, what's this button? How about show server output? Let's try it again with showing server output. Yes. Oh, boom. Etsy password. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a freaking hacker. All right, and we'll say reading Etsy password like a boss. I just had to fix the SQL stuff a little bit. All right, now that we have all that up there, I am going to create a new one. We'll just do like Etsy password. And let's drop it in there because we might be able to pull some interesting information out of this Etsy password file. I see it, but I don't know what you did. Hey, I don't know what I did either, but we're going to go with it. Actually, I do know what I did. So step number 1 is we had to create a new directory. we crawled our directory CTF directory, and we specified the Etsy path because I wanted to see if I could read Etsy password. And then I, vibe coded this crazy script that actually is vibe coded wrong. It had a forward slash at the end that we didn't need, but once I removed that, it worked. And we were able to read Etsy password. That's actually pretty cool. And when we're looking at Etsy password, what I'm curious about now, because remember we have SSH is enabled on this machine. We saw SSH. So there's a few ideas. We're running as the dev user. I don't know if the dev user would have access to any of these other users who have login shells, specifically Oracle and Superset. I don't see login shells for these other users, but potentially we could do that same process, but read like an ID RSA key or something along those lines. But I'm looking over at the recording time, and I think this is actually a really good natural stopping point for the end of part 2. We spent a lot of time in this video with the help of Almighty Gemini, figuring out how we can abuse the Oracle database to at least get remote file read. And we were able to successfully read the Etsy password file. And so I want to give you a challenge. I don't know for sure, but I think the way forward is to do a similar process, but instead of reading Etsy password, we're going to want to see what we can access from one of these two users. Maybe we can access their secret key. Maybe we could actually put a file. I'm not sure, but maybe we could upload our own authorized keys to their SSH folder. It depends what permissions we have. Maybe we can read something else that provides initial credentials to get access. I'm not sure, but I've showed you in this video how we can at least do a file read. I want to see if you can take it to the next level and see what information you're able to gain access to. So, hey, give it your best shot. If you get stuck, that's totally fine. If you are stuck, just join me in the next video and we'll continue stumbling through this together. All right. I do think as well, guys, I'm going to call it a night, see if we can find someone to raid. But before I jump off, happy to do any other Q&A, guys, about careers, pen testing, businesses. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. In the meantime, I'm going to grab this video and put it in the correct folder so it's ready to be uploaded to YouTube. Paste this in, rename. There, got it uploaded. And this machine was created, I'd have to look at the person when they first sent me the email. I think they're either an Oracle like developer, like they do this day in and day out, or they're a pen tester for a business that uses Oracle, but like this attack path is what they encounter in the real world. I've never encountered this personally on an internal pen test, but one day I'll be doing an internal pen test and I'll be like, yo, there's CloudBeaver and I know how to read files, and I'll be able to use that to elevate my privileges or do lateral movement thanks to this machine. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me. I do plan on streaming tomorrow night as well, hopefully, as long as all my kids sleep through the night and they're not too sick and all that fun stuff. But let me go ahead and see if there's anyone else streaming that we can raid. Let me look at channels. So most of you, as usual, are watching on YouTube. All of you YouTube people, you should come over to Twitch so you can be part of the raid. I see JBeers11. I don't know who that is. Let me log into Twitch real quick and see who this JBeers11 person is. Maybe we can raid them. Will you have that Gemini command script posted somewhere? Not usually, but I can drop. Well, no, I probably can't drop it in chat. I will, when I complete the machine, I'll try to share my Notion notes if someone reminds me. Cybersecurity courses, should I start in that or other courses first? I'm not sure what you mean, Lucifer. What courses? Hey, Amish Runaways over on Twitch. Let's go. All right, who's JBeers11? I've never seen them stream, so I want to raid them. Start watching. Oh yeah, they're doing some hacking. He has 8 viewers. Let's go. Let's show him some love, y'all. I don't think I know them. I don't think I've raided them before. It looks like they're working on the OSCP. They're doing some web hacking. And so I'll set up this raid. Make sure all of you, when we do the raid, you spam in chat, hack smarter, not harder. Let's show this JBeers11 person some love from the Hack Smarter community. I'll get this raid set up. All right, there we go. Raid is set up. Make sure you guys join the raid. Once again, when we jump over there, everyone say hack smarter, not harder. Make sure you follow, subscribe if you want. Let's show some love to JBeers11 on his OSCP journey. But thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to hang out with me. I will catch you in the next one.